Arc here on the campus of Valparaiso University. Caitlin Morrison will jump it up for Valparaiso. It's tossed and tipped, and we are underway. Let's take a look at the Allegiance Credit Union starting lineup. There you see the lineup for the Drake Bulldogs. Keep your eye, folks, on Maddie Peterson, the graduate guard, closing in on 1,000 points in her career, coming in with 950 points overall for the graduate student out of Silver Lake, Minnesota. So the Beacons have the basketball. No score 10 seconds into this one. There you see the starting lineup for Valparaiso. Caitlin Morrison honored before the game, coach, the all-time leader in games and career starts here at Valparaiso.
Absolutely, and she continues to add to that statistic as well.
Valpo basketball to begin this one. This should be a good one as the three out of the corner by Ernest is no good. These two clubs want to get it, and they want to shoot it in a hurry, Coach.
Oh, they're up and down the floor. Drake leads the conference in scoring and multiple other categories in the offensive part of it. And, of course, Valparaiso hangs their hat on tough half-court defense. So it'll be a battle of an offense against a defensive prowess.
There you see the tail of the tape between these two clubs coming in. Valparaiso averaging 57 points a game. Drake averaging nearly 80 per contest. There you see the shooting percentages. Turnovers have been a problem for both clubs this season, Coach.
They really have, but as of late, Valparaiso's taking care of the ball much better in the conference season, and Caitlin Morrison on cue hits a three to put Valparaiso up 3-0.
Morrison with her first points of the afternoon. Bulldogs with a basketball. They're playing without the services today of three starters. Their starting point guard, Katie Dynabeyer, is out with an injury, while Maggie Bear and Grace Berg in protocol. So the Bulldogs coming in a little bit shorthanded. Valparaiso shorthanded as well, as you said, each club with only 8 players here this afternoon. The Beacons without the services here this afternoon of Carrie Wyden, who's out due to injury. You've got Molly Sheehan out in protocol, as well as Ava Interante and Lauren Gunn. So both clubs a little undermanned, so to speak, but nevertheless should be a good one here this afternoon from the Arc.
That is a great opportunity for people who haven't maybe had the numbers to be able to play, and they get to start and they get put in a lot of minutes. We saw Elise Pitts for Valparaiso again on Friday, 20 minutes, an incredible job by Pitts, and she was a difference in a game.
Bulldogs with the basketball. Here goes Peterson right of the lane. On top, here's Miller. Drake very good at moving the basketball and distributing the basketball.
Yeah, and Valpo really tough, a switching, jumping defense. They're going to put a lot of pressure on the ball. As we mentioned, if Drake had one itty-bitty minor problem, it is taking care of the basketball. Had 30 turnovers. It's still a Missouri Valley Conference record against Indiana State, and they had 19 again against Loyola. And Valpo is going to try to force it. Out
of the corner, there's Morrison once again for her second triple of the first quarter. Beacons up with a 6-0 advantage 2 minutes into this one.
Yeah, Morrison with all of Valpo's points, and she had 0 points on Friday evening, so there's an example of next man up mentality.
Long three, no good by the Bulldogs. Here comes Valpo on the push. Frederick in the front court. Shea Frederick went over 1,000 points a couple of weeks back. Had 13 and 5 earlier this year versus Northern Iowa. That was this past Friday night, I should say. Here's Ernest. Ernest getting some starts as of late, Coach, and it's really paid off dividends for this club.
Absolutely, and she's really contributed a lot on the boards, and that was the one area that Valpo's just been hurting all season long for rebounds, and she had 8 or 9 rebounds the other night, and she averages about 6 rebounds a game.
Bulldogs basketball with 14 to shoot. Looking for the lob inside for Peterson. Poked out of bounds. It's going to stick with the Bulldogs. Drake going to their bench, checking in for the Bulldogs. Courtney Becker, the sophomore out of Fountain City, Wisconsin. And in now for Valparaiso, Grace White, the fifth-year senior out of Red Vine, Minnesota. And, Coach, she's been coming off the bench as of late. And that little bit of adjustment, I think, has really sparked this second unit for Valparaiso.
It absolutely has. And she brings a lot of energy when off the bench. And as a starter, she used to get in foul trouble early in games. So this might give her a time to just settle in. And after a minute or so, be able to get in the game and calm down so she doesn't get a quick foul right away.
Beacons basketball, under 7 minutes to go in the quarter. Here's Frederick. Kicks it on top to Morrison. Drake in that man-to-man. At times appears to be a matchup, but it's more of a man-to-man look.
Well, and they're able to switch, just much like Valparaiso. They're pretty even keel as far as like talent goes and size goes, so they can switch every screen, and they have to because Valparaiso has a tough screening action offense to guard.
Shot clock violation against Valparaiso. Turnover number 1 here in the opening quarter for the Beacons. Quick substitution now for the Drake Bulldogs. Checking in Maggie Phipps, the 5'11 freshman out of Ankeny, Iowa, averaging 4 points per contest. Fuller will get a breather for first-year head coach Allison Pullman, who took over for Jenny Baranchik, who moved on to Oklahoma after having a great career in Des Moines.
Well, she absolutely is not new to the program at all. She's been with there for 14 years, and she was the recruiting coordinator who recruited this entire team.
Bulldogs with the basketball. They have yet to score here. We've got a whistle off the ball, 3-second violation. Nope, an offensive foul, I should say, against the Bulldogs. So the turnover is going to go back to Valparaiso, and I believe they called the personal against Allie Wooldridge.
That might be, is.
Yep, they have Hannah Fuller up on the scoreboard, but she's not in the game.
I think Wooldridge picked up her second foul. She has to come to the bench.
Number 2 for Wooldridge. That's the second club foul here in the opening quarter. Beacons basketball. Frederick inside looking for Grace White on the blow-by with the ball fake. Gets the bucket. Her first deuce of the afternoon. The Beacons up 8. Nice start for Valpo.
What a great feed by Frederick, too, to see the back door, who averages four assists a game. She leads the conference in assists right now.
Bulldogs basketball. Here's Meyer. Finds Becker. Backdoor cut. Becker gets the pass from Peterson, and she gets the bucket. So the Bulldogs on the board. 5.5 to go here in the opening quarter.
That time when Valpo switched, they gave up a face cut, and that's tough to do when you're trailing behind.
Here's Frederick now for Valparaiso. Grace White. White had 9 off the bench the other night in that victory over Northern Iowa. And Brown travels with a basketball. So a turnover by the Beacons. That's their third here in the opening quarter. Quick substitution now for Valparaiso. Maya Dunston checks in, the senior out of Dayton.
And I think you're going to see a lot of substitutions for both teams because of obviously short benches. You want to give everybody a little bit of a blow, especially with only 1 day rest between 2 tough games.
Bulldogs coming in 1-2 in the conference. Valparaiso 1-2 as well. Bulldogs, I can't remember the last time they've been under 500 in conference play.
It's an anomaly, of course, and so is the COVID. The last 2 years, both seasons have been very unusual.
Meyer gets on the board. She had 12 and 8 Friday night in that loss to Loyola. 8th in the Missouri Valley in three-point shooting. She gets her first deuce of the afternoon. Here's Dunston now for VU. She'll take it hard to the bucket with the left hand. Gets the bump. She'll shoot a couple.
7, and I know Valparaiso's given the Bulldogs a scare the last couple of years. Obviously right now leading by 4 with Dunston at the line. Misses the first one, but another opportunity to pad this lead a little bit.
Dunston shooting on the season, only 43% from the line. Hits the second. Valpo lead is 5 here, midway through this opening quarter. Bulldogs with the basketball as it's lost out of bounds off the fingertips there of Courtney Becker, so it's going to go back to Valparaiso. Good defense, good help side defense there.
Valpo's really doing a great job on the help side. If you saw that Maya Dunston fly over from the help just to tip that off of the Bulldog and get the ball back, forcing another turnover. Turnover number 3 for the Bulldogs.
So here's Shea Frederick in the front court now for Valparaiso. Beacons working with the 5-point advantage here. Long 3 on top from Frederick, and she connects. Shea Frederick leading the conference in minutes, 4th in assists, 4th in minutes played, I should say, and just been a spark for this program since she arrived on campus. Over 1,000 points in her career as well.
And absolutely, I think she's in the top 5 for 3-pointers made. I believe she is actually number 1 in assists right now after Friday evening.
Off the give and go, the screen and roll, the bump in the bucket into the stripe goes Anna Miller with a chance at the old-fashioned 3-point play.
Well, that time you can see the switch. Oh, that was a slip, and that time they anticipated the switch, the screen and the switch, and that was a slip, and Frederick got caught behind, and actually, Van Keppen ends up with the foul, but that was Frederick's girl that slipped to the basket.
So Miller's going to head to the line where she's a 68% free throw shooter on the year. Good rebounder for this club. Had 10 the other night in that loss to Loyola. Capitalizes on the 3-point opportunity. The lead is 5 now for Valparaiso, coming up on the 4-minute mark here in the opening frame.
Valpo's done a really good job of moving the basketball. Right now, Drake's in this zone again, so looking for Valparaiso to maybe get a high post touch to be able to maybe shrink the zone a little bit.
Off the long 3 miss from Van Kemp, and Bulldogs with the basketball. Here's Phipps. Skip pass right side to Fuller. She'll drive the baseline. Leaping leaner in the lane is up and good. Hannah Fuller, the graduate student, seems like she's been on campus for 27 years, Coach. She comes in averaging 4 points. Now, she got her first start Friday night since November of 2020. A spark off the bench the last number of years. Gets her first start in here this afternoon. In her second start, gets the bucket.
You know, as I say, this unprecedented times, you're going to get a lot more opportunities from people that don't get opportunity to play. And then you see Dunson with the high post touch and a shot, but unable to knock it down.
Bulldogs with the basketball, down 3. Fuller works with it outside the arc. On top, that's Becker. Lob inside for Peterson. She'll get the hoop and the harm and an opportunity to tie it up.
Boy, that ball movement for Drake is tough, especially if you're playing that switching man-to-man defense as Valparaiso. The ball moves so quickly they can't get ball pressure, and then you get wide open looks from the top of the key. As you can see, the last 2 times it came from the top of the key to a back door. And when you go the pass from the top of the key to underneath the basket, there's no help. From the wing, that you can help from the weak side. But right now, that's what's happening. Drake has tied this game up with good ball movement and high-low passes.
You know, you saw the numbers right there offensively. This club, one of the best in the conference, in the country rather. As you saw, their field goal percentage, one of the best in the nation as well. And that's been a spark of this program the last number of years. As Grace White connects for 3 out of the right corner, coming off the bench the other night, had 9 versus Northern Iowa, leading the conference in steals and free throw percentages as well.
Right, and she is the leading rebounder for the Beacons, and with Leah Ernst right behind her.
Here's Peterson in the left corner. That's Phipps. Skip pass right side to Becker. Good ball movement by Drake with 9 to shoot. Off the high-low lob inside, looking for Miller, ripped away by the Beacons. Off the turnover. Here's Olivia Brown and company on the push. Lob up ahead, looking for Ernest. No good. But the Beacons come out of there with it. Brown loses the handle.
Wow. That was great defense.
Drake comes out of there with a loose ball.
Great hustle by Courtney Becker to save that ball underneath.
Looking for the lob inside, deflected away by Olivia Brown. Good post defense right there by Brown.
Yeah, and she was outsized too. Maybe the pass could have been a little bit farther away from the defender, but great job by Brown to get a hand on it.
White with 17 to shoot. Under 2 minutes to go in the quarter.
There's that high post touch again by Ernst. Yeah. I felt like she traveled probably before she traveled the second time, but she was wide open at the free throw line. They were going to give her that shot, but she chose to go in, and she gets the travel.
Turnover number 5 for Valparaiso. There you see Maddie Peterson getting a breather. She'll come out of the ball game with 98 seconds to go here in the opening quarter. Drake basketball. Meyer comes across the timeline. She's running the point this afternoon. With the injury to Katie Dinnebeyer, the freshman out of West Des Moines, is going to be a good one in this conference. She's out with an injury.
Boy, that was great ball pressure by Elise Pitts, which forced a bad pass, which forced a travel. So Pitts comes off the bench, immediately impacts the game with forcing a turnover.
She works with it. Lob inside for Grace White. White with a little scoop shot. Drew the contact, and she shoots a couple. It's going to be Allie Wooldridge picking up the personal.
Yeah, she might have just picked up her 3rd foul. She did. She picked up her 3rd foul. Grace White, great job using the up and under to get her up, knowing that she had 2 fouls, and obviously Drake has no choice, but very short bench, 3 players on the bench. You're going to have to try to play through some foul trouble a little bit here.
White, 91% from the line. Top free throw shooter in the conference with her 2nd one, and that comes up long. Rebound by the Bulldogs.
Is that announcer jinx there by mentioning it? 91%.
Didn't want to say it, but I was thinking it, no question. Here's Fuller out of the corner. She'll launch the triple. That's no good. Rebound underneath by Ernest of Valparaiso. Beacons with it. Here comes Elise Pitts in the front court for Valpo. Right corner, that's Grace White. Now Morrison. Under a minute to go in the quarter.
Well, Pitts brings to the table another ball handler that Shea Fredericks had to play 35, 36, 37 minutes a game. without Pitts being able to play, and she really gives her a little bit of a break.
Olivia Brown with the bucket. At 18 the other night versus Northern Iowa, really playing very well as of late. At 21 versus Missouri State.
Yeah, and in Missouri Valley play, she's averaging 15.5 points a game, but like I mentioned earlier, consistency, shooting-wise. I mean, 15 of 20 from the field goal, 8 of 10 from 3.
Bulldogs have it off the deflection out of bounds by Brown with 30 seconds to go. About an 11-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock.
Valpo's playing really good pressure defense right now.
Fuller has it with 9 to shoot. Ernest with the deflection out of bounds, looking for the call, but instead it's going to go back to Drake with 6 to shoot.
Boy, that energy off of the Valpo bench, what a difference between earlier in the season and after a big win, a Missouri Valley win come from behind, and all of a sudden you got a lot of energy coming off the bench.
10 to shoot off the offensive rebound. We've got a kick. Nope, a foul. What do we got? Now they're going to talk all the answers.
That's right.
All the answers. Right, wrong, or indifferent. So after the timeout, Fuller looking to inbound for Drake. She'll get it in. Here's Becker. Stolen away by Elise Pitts with 5. Pitts to the bucket. Can't get it to go. The follow-up by Ernest with 1 on the clock.
By Ernest.
Ends the first quarter.
That is exactly why
Valparaiso, especially over the last number of years, averaging nearly 9 steals a game in the last 3 seasons. And I think for Valparaiso, in a game like this especially, their defense really affects their offense, and you saw it right there.
No question. Right now, in one quarter, they already have 4 steals, 2 by Olivia Brown.
Beacon shooting 54% from the floor here in the opening quarter with an 8-point advantage here as we begin the second quarter. To begin the second quarter, Ernest with the turnover. That's number 6 for the Beacons here in the first half.
One little extra step by Ernest, but great hustle and a great move. Just drug her pivot foot a little bit.
Bulldogs have the basketball. 9:40 to go here in the half. Here's Fuller now for Drake. On top, that's Becker. Now Becker looking for a teammate. Goes in the left corner to Meyer. Drake really likes to get it and go, and they really want to chuck it in a hurry. And give Valpo credit; they've done a nice job defensively here in the first quarter.
Absolutely, they've had a lot of ball pressure, and they've extended the offense a bit.
With 3 to shoot, long 3 is short. Rebound, Grace White. You know, this is a club averaging nearly 80 points a game coming in, Coach, and they only have 12 here in the first quarter.
Yeah, Valpo's defense has done what they need to do. Thus far, look, we're only a quarter in, but right now Valpo's looking very strong defensively.
Yeah, held Drake to 36% shooting in the first quarter. White has it now for the Beacons. Now her pass is stolen away by Fuller. Drake with numbers if they hurry. Fuller looking for the bounce pass inside off the hip there of White, so it's going to stick with the ladies from Des Moines.
Well, a little bit too long of a skip pass, and maybe advertised it a little bit too much by staring, maybe ball fake. And Fuller, great job to pick that off, but unable to finish at the other end, so Valpo gets to set up their defense again.
Meyer launches it. That's too strong. Frederick finds it now for Valpo. Another one and done that trip for Drake.
Yeah, Frederick, a point guard. She averages almost 4 rebounds a game.
She'll stop and pop. That's no good. There's Ernest with a hustle play. And on the tie-up, it's going to go back to Drake.
Really great hustle by Ernest. And how many times have I said that already? We've only played a quarter. Ernest is the energy bunny, and they used to use her off the bench. Instead, they inserted her in the starting lineup and utilized Grace White off the bench. And both of those players, rebounding is a lot of desire and hustle.
Right.
And those 2 players are the hustle queens of the Beacons.
Long 3 from Imes is up and good. Imes averaging a point coming in. Limited time this season. Has seen action thus far in 7 games. Getting called on earlier in this one. Brings Drake within 5 off the steal by Fuller. She'll take it hard to the bucket. And she gets it to drop.
Boy, Fuller all of a sudden 2 quick steals and gets Drake back in this. It was an 8-point game, so 5-0 run by the Bulldogs.
4 now for Fuller. With under 8 minutes to go here in the first half. Here's Frederick now for Valparaiso. On top, Morrison. She's 8th in the conference in 3-point shooting. She'll put it to the deck. Looking for a teammate. Now finds Ernest on top with 9 to shoot. Valpo looks a little bit out of whack offensively right now. Ernest goes baseline, lost their footing, and a foul going to be called. And so Beacons baseline right. Frederick looking for the lob inbounds, trying to find Ernest. And a foul going to be charged. And I think it's going to be Hannah Fuller. Yep, she's going to get the personal foul for Fuller.
She nearly had her third steal in a row. Right here. A little hip check on the left with the left hand. Trying to ride her out a little bit. But great job by Fuller, making the most of her start.
Beacons with the basketball, up 3, 7:23 to go here in the first half. Pitts inside. Little half hook. And gets the hometown roll.
And the Pitts is another energy giver. And so right now, Valpo with 3 big-time energy players on the floor. And that's really infused a lot of enthusiasm.
Becker bump, no call, rolls out of bounds. Drake will hang on to it. Maggie Phipps back in now. Watch right here. Watch Becker again down the lane, blocked out of bounds by Grace White.
Good job by Morrison to come over and not allow a wide open look there.
And underneath, we've got an offensive foul
taken by Morrison.
Drake, and it's going to be Maggie Phipps. Watch underneath your bucket. Watch Phipps. Runs right over Caitlin Morrison. Good job by Morrison to step in.
Yep.
That's a scouting play right there. You
Sure.
see that off the inbound.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
Good play. That's something that's done in the pregame prep.
But you also have to find somebody to be able to
take it. Right.
Yeah. You need to impede the progress of the person cutting instead of letting him go by and trying to deny it, which is a tendency of players to do.
Olivia Brown back in for Valparaiso, junior out of East Grand Rapids. Ernest has it for Valpo. She'll go along the baseline. Too strong. There's Imes for the rebound for Drake.
Yeah, they're trying to take advantage of a mismatch with Ernest and Fuller on her, but Fuller's done a really good job on Ernest to body her up.
Imes off the give and go, can't get it to go. Here's Frederick and company with it for Valpo. Lob inside. Ernest slips underneath and gets the bucket. Leah Ernest now with 4 points here in the half.
And she just rewarded for running the floor. I mean, how many bigs, you want them to run the floor, and she does it every time.
Long three, Phipps too strong. Fuller finds it for Drake. There's Meyer again. She'll chuck it. That's going to be short. Morrison on the weak side with the board and the push for Valpo. Drake, a club, as we mentioned, coming in that really likes to shoot it. First in the conference in three-point shooting percentage. Here in the first half, however, they're 1 of 9.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about their prowess in scoring, and they're first in scoring offense. They're first in free throw percentage. They're first in three-point percentage. Second in offensive rebounding. First in defensive rebounding. First in rebounding margin. Can I go on? First in assists. And that's it. Only.
Frederick at the line hits number 1. She gets one more. Lead is 8 for Valparaiso, under 6 to play here in the first half. Drake coming up empty in their last 4 shots. It's been nearly 2 minutes since the Bulldogs, 2 minutes of game time, have scored a bucket.
Right, they got it within 3, and then now Valpo with their own 6-0 run.
Maddie Peterson in the front court. The former Maddie Monahan got married this past off-season, closing in on 1,000 points for her career at Drake.
Yeah, the grad student with an extra year.
Lob inside. Miller slips by her defender, and she gets the bucket. Miller now with 5 in the first half.
Well, that time with the switch didn't work for Valparaiso. If you don't put any ball pressure, that pass is way too easy, and Frederick got caught on Miller.
Van Kempen for Valpo. Inside for Dunson. Dunson with the clear out, tries a little left-hand runner, no good. And we've got a foul. Olivia Brown drew the contact. It's going to be charged to Megan Meyer.
Well, Meyer just with a shove in the back on this one. Oh, could have been Fuller as well.
So Brown to the stripe. That's the 15th foul here in the quarter.
Yeah, Brown's been a little bit quiet here in this game, considering we talked about how proficient she was shooting the basketball the last couple games.
Misses the front end, gets one more. She's really come on as of late.
She really has. With opportunity. I mean, she hasn't had that much opportunity, and when she got it, she grasped it and ran with it.
St. Bonaventure transfer hits the second one. 2 points for her on the afternoon. 8-point lead now for the Beacons. Drake with the basketball off the step through. Meyer with the nice move.
Yeah, Meyer's been quiet early as well, but she's heating up some, getting a lot more touches.
Coming in averaging 11. She's got 4 here in the first half. 5 minutes to go. Beacons lead is 6. here in this 14th meeting all time. Now Frederick on top to Brown. Dunston turns the corner, shut off nicely there by Miller. 9 to shoot. Dunston on the step back. Lefty can't drop it in. Ernest with the offensive board and a reset to 20 for Valparaiso. Four and a half to go. Shot clock at 7. Ernest has it. Blows by Fuller. On top, Brown. She'll chuck it from 27. That's too strong.
Chuck it from 27 and too strong. That doesn't usually happen.
Yeah, a little bit wide left.
Yeah.
On top, that three is going to be short from Peterson. Here's Frederick. Here's the tempo we expected. She'll take it down the lane. Her runner is no good. Bulldogs on the push. Peterson in the front court. No numbers yet. She takes it hard to the bucket. Offensive foul. Maya Dunston takes the charge. Bulldogs, you said, just did a great job as the associate head coach for a number of years for Jenny Baranchik.
I mean, the recruiting coordinator, and that is the important. You need to have the horses to be able to play, and she's done a super job.
Yeah, it was a natural fit when Jenny Baranchik moved on to Oklahoma to slide Allison Pullman over one seat.
Interesting, the Drake went in a 1-3-1 zone.
Van Kempen dials up long distance. Lead 9 for the Beacons. 3.5 to go as Van Kempen gets her first points of the afternoon.
Yeah, Van Kempen's been just a team player, and she hasn't really been able to score the ball much lately, but, you know, just a hustle. Another person that hustles and gets on the boards. Great job. The ball movement by Valpo was really super. A little bit late coming over. It was Olivia Brown. She picks up the foul.
Anna Miller going to head to the line, the freshman out of Rochester, Minnesota, shooting 68% from the floor on the season. Mentioned earlier she had 10 boards versus Loyola in the loss on Friday night. Earlier this year had 16 and 14 misses, number one.
Yeah.
Give her one more. This club shooting 77% from the line on the season. One of the best shooting clubs in the Missouri Valley, as we have mentioned since the broadcast started.
Right.
Playing shorthanded today, though, Coach.
Yeah, and you know, their top 2 leading scorers actually are out for them.
Misses number 2. Beacons with an opportunity to push the lead to double figures. Largest lead 9 here this afternoon. Here's Dunston. She'll take it to the bucket. Gets caught underneath the bucket, and she traveled with it, and that is turnover number 9 for Valpo.
I think Dunston was looking to go baseline pass, and no one came down and dropped to the baseline for her to pass, so she ended up traveling.
Drake basketball. Here's Meyer. Looking for the lob inside, trying to find Becker. Intercepted by Van Kempen off the turnover. Valpo on the push. Dunston sets her feet. She'll launch that one. That's going to be wide left, controlled by Fuller underneath for Drake. Peterson on the push now for the Bulldogs. Here's Becker. Now Fuller. Valpo shooting here in the first half, 44%. Long three on top is no good. However, the putback is up and in by the freshman out of Rochester, Anna Miller.
Yeah, and I mean, she's just continued to she's one you have to keep off the boards. And that's one of the reasons why Van Kempen is in, because she's got the length to be able to play with her. But that time, Miller got to the boards and got the putback.
Here's Van Kempen, goes now to White. Grace will step back for 3, and she connects. Grace White, 9 here in the first half. 10-point advantage for the Beacons as we approach the 10-minute, or I should say the 2-minute mark left here in the first half. Miller now off the steal by Grace White. Beacons with the basketball with 2 minutes to go in the half.
Yeah, they're trying to get that diagonal screen and face cut, diagonal cut. And Beacons have done a really good job of trying to intercept that or get a hand on it at least.
Inside, here's Brown. She'll step through with a move, and she drops it in. Brown now with 5. Another good footwork move right there by the Beacons.
Pretty
and
up
steal.
and under. And the steal by Frederick.
Drake a little sloppy here late in this one here in the first half. That's their 12th miscue. That's been a problem all season long.
It has. You could always blame, you don't have your starters. But even with their starters, they had 30 turnovers against Indiana State.
Long three on top by Miller is good. She shoots 31% from 3, and when you're listed at 6'3", that's a matchup problem when you can hit that shot.
Big matchup problem. And again, that's Van Kempen's the only one on the Beacons team really that can match up with her lengthwise.
9-point lead for Valparaiso. Here's Brown for 3, and she equals. Brown with the bucket. She's got 8. That's her first triple of the afternoon. The 12-point lead, the largest here in the first half for Valparaiso with under a minute to go.
And she continues to really be consistent.
Now Maddie Peterson gets involved with a triple.
Well, all of a sudden.
That's her second 3 on the afternoon. Give her a half a dozen. The lead is 9 with 40 seconds to go here late in the first half. Valpo would get it to begin the second half as well, Coach. So an opportunity here for a little run for Valpo.
Right, and because obviously the Bulldogs are heating up. That's their third 3 just in this quarter.
Yeah, they're 5 of their last 7 from the floor. 9 seconds to shoot. Game clock, as you can see, shows 24. Here's Frederick. Shea gets the baseline shut off by Peterson with 1 to shoot. Dunston on top with a good look. That's too strong. There's Grace White with the offensive board. Looking for Brown off the deflection. Van Kempen finds it. And with 9 to shoot, Valpo going to take the use it or lose it timeout.
And that's how she got the kick out to Dunston, because they had to collapse.
Mary Evans looking on.
If we're looking at the same thing, of course you got to get an inbounds first.
There's Brown down the lane with 7. Dump off to Grace White. Wave it off. Offensive foul against Olivia Brown. That'll be her second. A little pressure here in the front court. Peterson's going to come and get it. She'll bring it in the front court with 3. Peterson from the head of the key. That's going to be short. And Renee Turba, the Beacons, will head into the locker room with a 9.
During the third quarter especially. But Valpo with the ball, really important here to get a score.
So we're set for the second half. Valparaiso basketball to begin the second half of play. Valpo working with a 9-point lead, looking for their first win all time in series history between these two programs. Here's Frederick with the basketball with 16 to shoot. Looking for a teammate with 10. On top, Morrison. She had a nice first half off to start with a couple of threes as Leah Ernest travels with the basketball. So the 12th turnover for Valparaiso here. Begin the second half, Coach, and as we all know, the first 5 minutes of each half crucial here for Valparaiso. They need to get that momentum going that they had in the first half.
Absolutely. You don't want to give up a big run to Drake when you work so hard for a 9-point lead. But Drake right now made an adjustment. They're going to make Leah Ernest handle the basketball, and so far she's had 2 or 3 travels when they've made her handle the basketball.
Here's Peterson with 15 to shoot. Swings it right side there to Meyer. On top, Peterson, wide open 3. Head of the key is going to be short. Rebound by Leah Ernest of Valparaiso.
Well, they certainly got the shot they wanted. They just couldn't hit it.
Miller slaps it out of bounds, so it's going to stick with Valpo as Megan Meyer, rather. Check that. That was Anna Miller. She has to track that one down.
Well, great job of recovery by Anna Miller. I mean, you're taking your 6'3" centers, the first one down the floor to stop that layup.
There's Frederick. Shea looking. Skips it left corner. That's Ernest. Rainbow J out of the corner. Too strong. Hannah Fuller going to be bumped by Olivia Brown. Not the kind of shot you want right there.
Well, now, when we did the Notre Dame game, we talked about this. That they're going to leave Leah Ernest open up out there, and they're going to help off of her with the other shooters. And so Brown picks up her first foul, it looks like, but Leah Ernest is vital on the defensive end, and she's got to know where to pick and choose when she's going to shoot on the offensive end.
Here's Meyer on top between the rings. Shot clock shows 10. Now Fuller has it. To Peterson. Good ball movement by Drake. Good defense by Valpo as well, as Peterson's going to have to chuck it with 1 on the shot clock. That's going to be an air ball and a shot clock violation, and a good way to start on the defensive end for the Beacons.
Yeah, Peterson's gotten some open looks, but she's just 1 of 7 from 3. And she's had the first 2 looks for the Bulldogs.
Beacons up 9, coming up on the 8-minute mark left here in the third. Here's Morrison out of the corner. She connects with her third 3 of the night. So Caitlin Morrison, the senior out of Glenview, Illinois, 8th in the conference in three-point percentage, opens up a double-figure lead for Valparaiso.
Yeah, she hits the first 2 baskets of the game and then opens up with the third quarter as well.
Ties for scoring honors thus far with 9. Here's Fuller off the bounce pass inside. Peterson, she'll get the bucket.
Yeah, Peterson's gotten the look 3 straight times, 2 threes and a layup.
10-point lead for Valparaiso. Lob inside for Grace White. She loses the handle, and the Bulldogs going to get it back.
A little bit late on that pass. It's just too late down the, kind of maybe too much of a floater. Unable to handle that.
Not a real good angle either. That's a tough
that is
pass.
tough. That's a tough pass.
13 turnovers thus far for Valparaiso. 7.5 to go here in the third. Fuller had it poked out of bounds by Grace White. Grace White looking for a little help from the bench.
Yeah. Hoping that she touched it.
Off the inbound, Peterson finds Meyer. She'll take that screen there from Woolridge. From 12, that's an air ball. There's White with the cleanup.
That was really extended their defense here in the third quarter.
Ernest going to go hard to the bucket with a left-hand finish. Leah Ernest took advantage of the seam. She gets the bucket. She's got a half a dozen. 12-point advantage for Valparaiso. 7:09 to go in the third.
Yeah, that's exactly where you want Ernest to shoot the ball, driving to the basket with her strength. And another forced turnover by Valparaiso.
Beacons up 12. 3 minutes into the third quarter. 12-point lead, the biggest thus far for Valparaiso. Here's Ernest. Again, she's going to go to the hoop. This time it's blocked from behind by Meyer, controlled by Meyer. Bulldogs on the push. Megan Meyer and company in the front court. The stop and pop three is an air ball out of the hands of Phipps. And there's Frederick with it now for Valpo.
Yeah, that was created by just an earnest hustle to keep the ball in play, and Frederick was able to come up with the loose ball.
Van Kempen now for Valparaiso with 15 to shoot. Frederick will reset with 8.
Now you're going to see that clear out we talked about in the first half.
From the Indiana Toll Road, that shot is too strong. Rebound by Drake. There's Meyer now working with it for Drake with 6 to play here in the third quarter rather, off the lob inside. Now the Woolridge to the line.
Just a little bit late coming over on Ernest, and she picks up the foul, but really great rotation. She kind of turned sideways on the turn. Just no straight up look for for Woolridge.
She's at the line. The senior out of Center Point, Iowa. Hits number 1 coming in, shooting 73% from the line. Had her first start in nearly a year Friday night in that loss at Loyola. Of course, Drake without the services today of Katie Dinnebeyer, the freshman point guard, as well as Maggie Bear and Grace Berg. 3 starters out of the lineup for Allison Pullman.
Yeah, 3 out of their top 4 scorers as well.
Obviously with the COVID protocols for both these clubs, there's been an opportunity here, Coach, as you said, to go to their bench. Long three up and good. There's Caitlin Morrison. 4 threes on the afternoon for the Glenview, Illinois State native.
Right, 4 for 5 as well. So, and again, another efficient performance by Caitlin Morrison.
You know, this Drake club had 16 the other night from Megan Meyer, as they were missing 4 players back in a ball game earlier this year, and that's been a common problem, Coach, for both clubs, for all the clubs in the Missouri Valley. As you can see right here, there's going to be a foul underneath. And I believe it's going to be Grace White getting called for the foul.
I think so as well, but yeah, get her first. Just fighting for the rebound down low, stopping the putback.
Here's Meyer now on the crossover. She traveled with it.
Yeah. Trying to do a 2-step stop and an up and under, but she kind of staggered her 2-step stop and then pulled her pivot. There you go, 1-2, and now she stepped through. So both those feet have to hit at the same time in order for it to be, you can utilize either pivot foot.
15 turnovers now for the Bulldogs. Lead 13 for Valparaiso. Grace White, Rainbow J. Gutha, good look, no good. Who's getting it? Drake basketball. Mary Evans not happy with the call.
She feels like she got
victory this past Friday night over Northern Iowa. And the thing about it was they only had the lead for the final 105 of the game. After being down 13 in that fourth quarter, they came back to get the win.
Yeah, but we all know it matters who's on the floor at the end and what the score is. And that Valparaiso never gave up, but they just gave up a layup to the Bulldogs, who get within 11.
As mentioned, the lead is 11 here midway through quarter number 3. Valpo with the basketball here, trying to get their second straight conference victory here this afternoon. Here's Grace White. White leading the Beacons this afternoon, one of two players. 9 points for her on the day. She has it in the corner with 6 to shoot. Bounce pass inside, looking for Ernest.
Wow, what a
on
great
the dime,
pass.
she gets the bucket.
Super job. Just driving into the defense, making them help up, and then dumping it into Ernest, who finishes.
Leah Ernest now with 8 on the afternoon. Back to 13 points here. The lead for Valpo off the high-low. The reverse layup inside by Becker. No good. There's Frederick with a rebound. Shea Frederick with a half a dozen handoffs here on the afternoon to lead Valpo. Morrison, she'll chuck it, and she'll drill it.
Get it to your hot hand. She's 5 for 6. 5 for 6 from 3.
Yeah, 15 points this afternoon. 16-point lead for the Beacons is the biggest of the afternoon. Inside Peterson. She'll squirt to the bucket. She drops it. She's in double figures, Coach, with 10.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to their senior. I mean, they're going to their grad student. They've got to get some points. They're giving her the ball, and they're putting the ball in her hand, and she's come up big, especially in this third quarter.
Ernest now worth the basketball. Now to Frederick. Shea off the stutter step, and a foul against Drake and Hannah Fuller.
Fuller with a little bit of a hip check.
Fuller with her second personal foul, team number 1 here in the quarter.
I think it looks like maybe number 3.
Check that now. They reset it, and they're going to say that's her third. Yep.
So 2 people with 3 fouls for the Bulldogs.
Off the turnover by Valpo. Here's Courtney Becker to the bucket. She'll stop and pop, and she floats it in.
Really great court presence to just pull up, not force a shot, or force a pass. Wait till the defense runs by. She pulls up and makes a 5-footer. Stays within 12.
Here's Frederick now for Valparaiso. Here's Ernest. She'll take the wide open 3. Yes, sirree. Leah Ernest, 11 on the afternoon. That's her first triple try. Drake had 3 players record a double-double. This is a club that we knew for years Coach could score the basketball. You know, Meyer had 19 and 11. You see Anna Miller had 16 and 14, and Becker with 10 and 11.
Right.
Not a real common occurrence, and that's what's been impressive about this program off the last number of years.
Well, they just keep replacing people. You just mentioned their top 3 scorers are out, and those 3 are playing right.
2 in Northern Iowa, 54. That victory for Valparaiso over Northern Iowa the other night was big in more ways than one, and you saw right there.
Absolutely. And now, again, going for maybe a possible sweep of 2 top 100 teams.
After the timeout, under 2 minutes to go here in the quarter. Drake basketball. Here's Becker. Good defense by Valpo. They've turned it up man-to-man after the timeout.
Yeah, Valpo's really a lot of ball pressure. But they were Drake was patient, able to move the basketball around, but making it tough. That was making it tough to just get any looks at the basket at all.
Elise Pitts in the ball game now for Valpo. Here's Grace White. Now to Brown. 94 seconds to go in the corner. Olivia Brown for 3. That's too strong. Long board underneath by Imes. So 1 and done that trip for Valparaiso. Slapped out of bounds by Pitts. So Drake will take. So Bulldogs working with the basketball. 1:26 to go, third quarter action. Valpo up 15. Valpo, 4 of their last 5 have been completed in terms of shooting here in the last couple of minutes. Out of the corner. That 3 no good from Miller. Tracked down there by the Beacons and Olivia Brown.
Well, that's one thing nice. I mean, obviously Miller can shoot the 3, but if Valpo keeps her at the 3-point line, then she can't go inside and rebound. Remember, she had a double-double with 14 rebounds, 16 points just a couple games ago.
There's White. Morrison's shot is blocked. They've changed that matchup as that time it was Miller defending her.
Yeah, a little bit more length on the shooter there.
Down the lane goes Woolridge, and the foul against Valparaiso.
Yeah, I think Morrison picks that foul up, but well, maybe Grace White with the reach in. So the Bulldogs have had to adjust to Dinabayer being gone because she was the point guard, and so Fuller's kind of taken over the point guard position here in the second half, and she's been doing an admirable job of bringing it down and not turning it over. I think Meyer was handling the ball for a while, and now Fuller's bringing the ball down. So they're kind of doing it by committee.
Drake shooting 71% from the line on the afternoon. The second one is up and good. Back down to 13, the advantage for the Valparaiso Beacons with 40 seconds to go here in quarter number 3. Dunson into the ball game now for Valparaiso. She has the basketball. Finding Van Kempen. Now here's Dunson again. She'll drive along the left baseline. On top, White 10 to shoot. Rainbow J comes up short. Not a good shot right there. Tough possession offensively for Valpo.
Yeah, there was not a lot of flow on that offensive possession for Valpo. Usually the ball needs to move quite a bit before they get a shot off, especially from the 3.
Inside, getting the position was Anna Miller. She gets the bucket.
Boy, they're able to. They figured out how to get it inside on Valpo right now. So Valpo's got a kind of a charge call right in front of us, and then I believe Shea Frederick was in both games. She was part of the winning basket, and as she was on Friday as well.
Yeah, you've got that coach's memory. There's no question. I don't remember what I did yesterday, and you're talking about something over a year ago.
Well, I can remember that, but then, ask my husband if I remember anything else.
Well, that's it. You can ask my wife. She'll tell you the same thing. Things that matter, right?
Right.
Blocked out of bounds by Grace White with 15 to shoot.
Well, that's about the 5th possession in a row where Drake has gotten the ball underneath the basket.
Peterson looking to trigger. Here's Fuller. She's been held in check here in the second half. Peterson out of the corner. That's no good. Good block out on the weak side by Maya Dunson. Rebound by Valpo.
That's a really good job by just not jumping, just holding it out, and your teammate can get the ball. That's team rebounding.
9.5 left. Beacons up 11. Grace White to the deck. And we're going the other way.
Well, at that time, Drake went back to that zone, so you have to get the ball to high post, which White did. They come up, and she just didn't get around. Great job by Peterson to get her feet in position. White did lower her shoulder a little bit, even if Peterson was moving. That's a foul.
Mary Evans looking on, her club up 11. 4 now for Grace White. Here's Peterson. Finds Meyer. Valpo in that man-to-man. Now Miller. Stolen away by Elise Pitts.
Really good job. I mean, Drake is just trying to get the high-low with no help, because Valpo's really good at helping from the weak side. That time Pitts just was able to front Miller and get a tip on the ball, and Valparaiso ends up with the basketball.
Johnson in the corner. Now Brown to the bucket with a left hand, partially blocked by Miller. She comes out of there with it. And there's Imes for the bucket.
That was a big-time rebound by Imes to get them within single digits.
Near steal. Here's White. Now Pitts, plenty of time to shoot. Shot clock at 15. White again out of the corner. That's too strong. Peterson with a board. Dogs on the run. And off the turnover, as Fuller couldn't connect on the pass, it's going to go back to Valpo.
Yeah, they're really trying to get the ball to Miller, because right now, Valpo doesn't have any answer for her inside. Especially with the high-low pass. With the switching, a lot of times a point guard, somebody who's small like Pitts or Frederick, end up on somebody like Miller who's 6'3".
Here's Brown. Now to Pitts. Good ball reversal by Valpo. 12 to shoot. Frederick with 7. And a foul.
Wow. 3 shots. But everybody's going to go through that. And the team that can stay together, string together some wins, pick up some wins or close games, are going to be able in good shape, and Valpo could be one of them.
Frederick hits the second. She's got one more. Frederick this afternoon, 7 on the day. 8 hits all 3. 8 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds for the senior out of Greenville, Wisconsin. The lead is 12 for Valparaiso, and they're going to get it back off the turnover.
A great job by just getting a tip. And I think a lot of people don't realize just getting a tip on the ball really throws the offense off. And that time, a tip was enough to hit it off of the offense, and they get the ball back. 18
turnovers by Drake here this afternoon. Beacons with a basketball up 12, 7 minutes to play in this one. Beacons looking for their first victory over Drake in 14 tries.
Drake back in that zone. Of course, they're a little bit of foul trouble, so they go to the zone.
Brown launches, and she drills it. Olivia Brown, coach, with 11 on the afternoon. That's her second triple of the day.
Well, and I think Valpo's just salivating a bit when Drake went to the 2-3 zone. You're going to leave some shooters open. Valpo's got a bunch of them.
Pitts with the pickpocket. The rebounder by Valpo. There's Brown now to Elise. Touch pass, corner pocket, 3 out of the hands of Morrison. Is up, and it's good. Timeout. Drake. Valpo up big, up 18 here.
Players that hadn't had a lot of minutes, they run out of gas a little bit. And Valparaiso playing with quite a few starters back, really just missing one. Obviously playing at home helps as well.
3 from Meyer, no good. Here's Ernest and Valpo with a basketball. Morrison, 18 points this afternoon. Her career high is 21. That was earlier in her career against Illinois State.
Well, with 6 minutes to go, obviously it's reachable to tie that.
Drake going back man-to-man here, Coach.
Yeah, I think they have to challenge the 3, obviously, with Morrison, how hot she is right now.
And a steal by Meyer.
That forced a really long entry pass, and obviously great job by Meyer to cut in and get the ball.
Fuller sets her feet. She pops it in.
I think Drake's going to have to get some open 3s on transition just like that, but that means Valpo has to miss some shots so they can get a run out now and then off of a long rebound or a steal.
5.5 remaining. Pitts in the corner, puts it to the deck. Morrison now to Ernest with 9 to shoot. Brown down the lane. And a tie-up.
Wow.
The arrow's going to give it back to Valparaiso.
Yeah, that was a great job by Fuller to just grab the ball. She exposed it a little bit in the front of her body, and she just grabbed it away from her.
Yeah, that's a great replay, by the way.
Yep. Love the camera at the top.
7 to shoot. Beacons basketball underneath their own bucket. Ernest comes and gets it with 5. She'll take it to the bucket, up off the window, and she gets it. Ernest now with 15 on the day, back to 17, the advantage. And Coach Drake in a hurry coming down the floor.
Ernest has really done a super job embracing the starting role, allowing White to come off the bench because White tends to get in foul trouble. She has 4 fouls right now. So she's gotten a lot more playing time and obviously feels very comfortable in her role.
Back to 15, the lead for Valparaiso. Here's Ernest working with a basketball. She is 2 shy of her career high.
Which was just a few weeks ago, I believe.
Here's Pitts down the lane. Contact, no call. Floater, no good. Fuller finds it for Drake. Dogs looking to run. You can see they're forcing the issue here.
Really good transition defense by Valpo to match up and not give a open look.
Becker rims it in and out. Morrison with a rebound. That's her 4th on the afternoon. Valpo going to look to run a little clock here, Coach.
Yeah, I think they just need to utilize the shot clock the rest of the way because Drake wants to come down and get some quick shots and see if it cut into this 15-point lead.
Frederick looking for the screen from Morrison. She'll take it. She'll fire it. She'll come up empty. Meyer on the push now for Drake. Bulldogs down 15 under 4 minutes to go here in the ball game. Fuller looks inside, finds Becker. You can see Becker right here on the cut to the bucket. And she runs right over Morrison. So that's going to be a turnover as Morrison does a nice job taking the check. And it'll be Valpo basketball.
That's a second charge we've seen Morrison take. It's very not typical for a person, a 6'1" center, so to speak. Full
court pressure by Drake, looking for the trap. Frederick now pulls it out. She'll reset it for Mary Evans and company.
Great patience by not dribbling right away, holding the basketball, getting everybody set. Now they get to utilize the ball screen.
Stolen away. Dogs and Meyer in the front court. Woolridge sets her feet. Her three is no good. There's Ernest with a rebound and a foul by Courtney Becker of Drake.
Nobody's been in the bonus this entire game. I mean, they've shot free throws because they've gotten fouled shooting, but neither team been in bonus. But right now that was Drake's third foul.
Brown looking to inbound. Full court pressure by Drake. This is what you expect here from the Bulldogs late in this one, Coach.
For sure. I mean, you're behind 15. You got to either foul or you got to get some steals or a few stops.
Here's Ernest. With 5. And we're going the other way. It's Ernest with the offensive foul.
Well, Drake's taken their share of charges as well.
Yeah, Peterson.
Her spin. Nice job by Peterson to anticipate that spin to the right. And actually, Ernest does tend to spin back to her right shoulder, so.
Peterson down the lane. Her floater is no good. There's Ernest with a rebound for Valparaiso. Big-time board right there by Ernest. That's her 7th.
Yeah, Ernest has been a beast on the boards.
Brown to the bucket. No good on the finish. White with the offensive board and a foul coming up against Drake.
That's another person that's been big on the boards as well.
Don't forget, we'll have the Lakeshore Bone and Joint Players of the Game. That's coming up at the completion of this one.
I think that's the 4th foul on Woolridge. Oh, no, they called that on Meyer.
So Grace White to the stripe. She hits the first. 10 points for her. 4 players in double figures for the Beacons. White with 10, Brown with 11. Ernest with 15, Caitlin Morrison scoring honors this afternoon thus far with 18 points.
Yeah, this is her highest game of the year. 10 points was her season high against UIC, so 18 points for her. As we mentioned earlier, just 3 more to get a career high.
Down the lane with a finish goes Megan Meyer. That's the lead the lead is cut to 14. 2 minutes left in this one. Valpo needs to take care of the basketball, Coach.
Yeah, they've got the pretty good ball handlers in there with Brown and Frederick, of course. Certainly
Grace
helps.
White also can handle it.
Right.
Here's Frederick. Morrison sets her feet. There's your dagger.
There you go.
21 now for Morrison. That ties her career high. 71-54, 97 seconds left out of the corner. Woolridge for 3. She's got the answer.
She mastered it.
She's got 7. Back down to 14.
This is 57 points for Drake. That's what Valpo has been averaging this year. 71 for Valpo. But Valpo turns the ball over here with just 1:25 left.
.80 seconds remaining. Valpo defending the perimeter. And Anil just into the game now, wearing number 1 for Drake. Meyer to the bucket, and a blocking foul coming up against the Beacons.
I think that's going to be on Ernest just because she was in the circle. A little bit late on the help. Didn't get outside her foot in the circle, and she gets called for the foul.
So Meyer to the line.
Meyer was just, she's been very quiet this game. 6, make that 7 points now for Meyer.
The lead is 13 for Valpo. Now it's 12. Again, full court pressure by Drake. Valpo just needs to take care of the basketball, Coach.
Yeah, they just, well, and obviously you have to shoot with the shot clock at 30, but if you're getting a layup, you'll take it. We're going to turn it over again, though. Valpo isn't very good at the slow game. That's 2 times in a row where they're trying to milk a lot of clock, and they just threw it away. So they're But the one good thing about these turnovers are they're dead ball turnovers, and Valpo's able to get their defense set. No quick shots or quick baskets for the Bulldogs.
Nilgis comes up empty on that one. Just under 50 seconds remaining in the ball game. Olivia Brown and Valparaiso up 12.
Just trying to waste a little bit of time, get the ball back to Frederick. Good job by Brown.
Under 40 seconds left in the ball game.
So Valpo, I don't know if they'll shoot this or just take the turnover and hand it back over to the Bulldogs, but nope, they're going to shoot it.
Frederick to the bucket. It's blocked from behind by Nilgis.
Brown nearly comes up with the rebound. And
so the Bulldogs, for the first time in 14 tries, will come up empty here this afternoon. As the Valparaiso Beacons, with 10.3 seconds left, have a 71-59 lead over Drake Coach.
Yeah, Morrison's with their third block. You're going to see her third block of the game right there, along with her 21 points and 4 rebounds. What a game Morrison's had.
Nice
what
move
a weekend.
Inside by Meyer.
Hey, you're good.
So as mentioned, for the first time in 14 tries, the Valparaiso Beacons have defeated the Drake Bulldogs 71-61 here this afternoon.